The camera panned, zooming in on the driver's profile, and a voice shouted from the recording vehicle, "Epstein is alive." It's a face most of you will find familiar. A silver-haired man, his face shielded by dark sunglasses and a backwards white baseball cap, driving a convertible through the Florida heat. He looked like any other retiree navigating the coast of Palm Beach County, but through the lens of a smartphone. And soon to tens of millions of viewers across the globe, the driver looked like Jeffrey Epstein. The clip was uploaded by Andrew Posey on March 13th, 2026, and it almost instantly became a piece of internet conspiracy culture. Within hours, the footage was getting 10 million views and created the legend of Palm Beach Pete. All while the driver himself was unaware of his newfound fame, enjoying a quiet afternoon. The internet was ready to convict him of being a ghost. And what would follow was mistaken identity and online sleuthing, as well as a healthy amount of trolling. What would happen next is where the story goes completely off the rails. The Jeffrey Epstein story has never really stopped since he was found dead in his Manhattan cell in August 2019. When Andrew Posey's video hit TikTok and Instagram, the algorithms knew the explosive potential of the footage immediately. The video was pushed onto the For You feeds of millions of users within a matter of hours. It felt uncanny. The driver had the exact silver hair profile, the jawline, and the facial proportions, the same look that the public associated with Epstein. Within moments of the video's upload, an army of online forensics experts mobilized. The internet sleuths descended into the rabbit hole, pausing and dissecting the I-95 footage frame by frame. Side-by-side comparisons flooded social media timelines on Twitter. And the fact that this went viral so quickly was because of how deeply we distrust the official narrative of the Epstein story. The official ruling of his death is seen with major skepticism, and the existence of a man who looks just like him driving a convertible in Epstein's old stomping grounds was all the confirmation bias that everyone needed. As the video skyrocketed past 10 million views, TikTokers and independent journalists began compiling massive dossiers of evidence. The theories escalated from jokes to pseudo-scientific breakdowns. Commenters flooded in, with one top post joking that the driver was Epstein's innocent twin, Jeffrey Epstein, while others tagged law enforcement agencies demanding an immediate intervention. Speculation ran rampant that Epstein had faked his 2019 death, leveraged his vast and untraceable wealth to orchestrate a prison break and retreat to Palm Beach, Florida. The crowd felt this was the ultimate power move for a protected billionaire to be found hiding in plain sight, mocking the justice system from the front seat of a drop top. Online investigations segmented into various forensic rabbit holes of varying levels of absurdity. Sleuths overlaid transparent images of Epstein's face onto screenshots of the driver. Entire threads were dedicated to analyzing the specific curve of the man's ear cartilage and the depth of his smile lines. Of course, they were claiming a 99% biometric match. The fact that this video was filmed on I-95 in South Florida was the smoking gun. Sleuths mapped the trajectory of the highway, cross-referencing it with properties formerly owned by Epstein or his known associates, attempting to pinpoint the driver's exact destination. And for the deeply paranoid, the video was too perfect. A subset of conspiracy theorists thought that the footage was not a random encounter, but a coordinated media plan orchestrated by the deep state to gauge public reaction to Epstein's eventual return to society. Every pixel was scrutinized, every shadow was suspicious, but the internet is never satisfied with the mystery. And what they eventually uncovered was something more fascinating than the ghost that they were chasing. The truth is, the man in the convertible was Peter Simel, an American commercial real estate executive, former tennis player, and fashion entrepreneur. He was born in 1954 and 1955 and raised in New York. And he has a documented public life that stretched back decades. He went to Syracuse University, graduating in 1977. His college years had him competing in NCAA Division I men's tennis championships. He would become a nationally ranked competitive tennis player. Then Simon would become a highly successful fashion entrepreneur. He founded and served as CEO of PhD Inc., a showroom that imported European fashion brands to the American American market. He would found the iconic laundry industry store located in the heart of Soho, becoming a fixture of the New York fashion scene. Simel would then pivot to New York City commercial real estate. He would operate as vice president for the global giant CB Richard Ellis, and later joined Handler Real Estate Organization as a senior managing director. Simel made deals with a combined value exceeding $630 million. He is so much more legitimate than Epstein. He was moving mountains of square footage in New York while Epstein was operating in the shadows. And with that, the forensic debunking was complete. The timelines crashed. Epstein was a college dropout who built a secretive, dubious financial empire in the 1980s and 90s. Simel was playing NCAA tennis and building a highly visible Soho fashion brand and executing leasing agreements for Manhattan's most iconic skyscrapers. Yet in the post-truth era of 2026, corporate leasing agreements and college tennis records are dismissed by conspiracy theorists as forged documents. The internet needs visual proof, and the most definitive, undeniable piece of evidence debunking the theories was from Bravo Television. A decade before the I-95 video that went viral, Simel made a brief cameo in the 4th season of The Real Housewives of New York City. The footage had Simel attending a social gathering dressed to the nines and exchanging a warm greeting and a kiss with cast member Sonia Morgan. This clip briefly surfaced online and went semi-viral before being taken down due to copyright claims. But it's irrefutable timestamp proof. The Real Housewives footage confirmed that Peter Simel existed completely separate from Jeffrey Epstein. It was a ridiculous moment of reality television saving a man from a witch hunt. The question remained, how would a retired 71-year-old executive handle becoming the face of the internet's darkest obsession? What would happen next is a masterclass in modern reputation management. On the afternoon of March 13th, 2026, Peter Simel had set his smartphone aside to play some tennis and enjoy a quiet lunch in town. When he finally looked at it, the device had received a barrage of notifications. My phone exploded. The next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. The mob had found him. And then rather than going into hiding or attempting to sue the creator of the video, Simel pivoted. He recognized that in the attention economy, attempting to legally suppress something only invokes the Streisand effect, pouring gasoline on the fire. Simel leaned into the absurdity of the situation. He launched official social media accounts on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram under handles like @not_Jeff Epstein and @Real Palm Beach Pete. His response to the public was deflection. Filming himself from his home, he stated clearly, "Hey everyone, this is Palm Beach Pete, and my video went viral because some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95. I'm not Jeffrey Epstein, I'm Palm Beach Pete." He followed up the next morning thanking the internet for the positive comments and good vibes. He laughed off the situation as a crazy phenomenon, saying he was going to play some tennis today, going into town and have lunch. He was unbothered. To hammer this point home, his Instagram bio had the caption, "Hello, I'm Palm Beach Pete, not Jeffrey Epstein." The media was hungry for a light-hearted counter-narrative to the otherwise grim Epstein document coverage, and so they began to aggressively court him. Simel went on a press tour that was similar to that of an A-list celebrity promoting a huge movie. He sat for interviews with Global News, the Miami Herald, and the Jerusalem Post. He appeared on News Nation's Katie Pavlich Tonight, bringing some lightness to the conservative primetime lineup. When TMZ caught up with him, a reporter point blank asked if he planned to undergo plastic surgery to alter his appearance and finally escape the relentless comparison. Simel scoffed at that, saying that he was a good-looking, decent dude and had no intentions of changing his style, his face, or his life to appease internet trolls. He would even appear as a guest on Jimmy Kimmel Live. He repeatedly referred to Epstein as such a vile human being. Simel did acknowledge one minor detail during the press run that added fuel to the fire before he extinguished it. Simel admitted that during his time living in the city, he had inadvertently attended a couple large social gatherings where Epstein was also present. However, Simel clarified, saying he was kind of creepy just sitting on a couch staying to himself. The two men never spoke or had any sort of interaction with each other. The mainstream media was satisfied, but the internet wasn't done with Palm Beach Pete. Interviews on CNN or Jimmy Kimmel are insufficient to satiate the skepticism of hyper online millennials and Gen Z folks, which were the vast majority of his TikTok followers. The younger audience demanded proof, raw, unfiltered creator content. Simel delivered what they wanted, showing that he had a great amount of internet fluency for a man in his 70s. Simel began collaborating heavily with massive internet personalities. He worked with live streamer Adin by appearing on his Brand Risk show, and content creator SteveWillDoit, posting videos of them traveling together and hanging out in South Florida. His TikTok feed became a mix of lifestyle flexes, shout-outs of "Let's Go Knicks," and humor where he made fun of himself. But to silence the lingering theorists who still filled his comment section with accusations, Simel took another step. He appeared on the Nicky Gordo show, which is a popular podcast hosted by underground rapper and internet personality Fat Nick. On the podcast, he subjected himself to a DNA test to prove who he was. And if the DNA test wasn't enough, Simel returned to the show to take a live polygraph lie detector test. The broadcast was peak. Simel was strapped to a machine and aggressively questioned about his identity, his past, and about Little St. James. The absurdity of the moment. And again, this is a retired managing director of a real estate agency strapped to a polygraph machine by a SoundCloud rapper to prove he wasn't a deceased billionaire monster is just absolute peak 2026. He beat the internet at its own game. By out-contenting the conspiracy theorist, he ended the threat. But Peter Simel wasn't content to simply fade back into obscurity. He had built a dedicated digital army, and he set his sights on a new target. By May 2026, the algorithmic lifestyle of a viral video should have long concluded. Instead, Peter Simel orchestrated another pivot, weaponizing his audience to launch a wild, satirical political campaign. He announced his intention to run for mayor of Palm Beach, Florida, in the 2028 municipal elections. And the announcement had a sophisticated rollout. Simel launched a dedicated campaign site, voteforpalmbeachbeat.com. He dropped a line of political merchandise in order to monetize his virality. And the campaign merchandise catered directly to his millennial and Gen Z fan base. His TikTok feed transitioned from identity denials to full-blown political theater. He dropped campaign videos with captions like, "I'm running for mayor of Palm Beach and these are my views," utilizing dramatic sound cuts from Journey's "Don't Stop Believing." He framed himself as the ultimate anti-establishment outsider, leveraging his status as an internet folk hero. And he had actual policy proposals. The core tenets of Palm Beach Beat 2028's mayoral platform includes proposals that mock the extreme wealth of Palm Beach society. He is offering entirely free Botox treatments to all men and women residing in Palm Beach, arguing that making people look and feel better will ensure that people pay taxes longer and stay in Palm Beach. He promised to lease a convertible vehicle free to all Palm Beach residents so they can experience driving with the top down in the Palm Beach breeze. And he also promised to fund a massive municipal expansion project to build public pickleball and paddle courts to end wait times. He promised free tennis lessons, free community dog walking, and the implementation of free mother-in-law therapy. The platform went viral. Simel's campaign weaponized the idea of populism, stripped it of all the heavy politics, and replaced it with entertainment value. His engagement dwarfed that of any traditional politician in the state. In order to capitalize even more on his fame, he joined the platform Cameo, where fans could pay for customized video shoutouts for birthdays, weddings, and bachelor parties. The campaign became a live-action performance art piece funded by hat sales and, well, social media platforms. The entire saga serves as an amazing case study in how to surf the wave of an internet witch hunt rather than drown in. By submitting to lie detector tests on influencer podcasts, launching a satirical mayoral campaign centered around Botox, and monetizing his doppelganger status by merchandise, Simel hijacked the story. He stripped the conspiracy of its dark, sinister undertones and replaced them with pickleball and audacity. He transformed himself from a ghost of one of the most infamous men of all time into someone who is living his own life again. The saga of Palm Beach Pete will absolutely be a peak artifact of 2026 internet culture. It's a story that starts with a terrifying accusation shouted on an interstate highway and plunges into the darkest depth of online paranoia. But it ends with a 71-year-old staring in the face of all of that and telling the world he wants to provide free tennis lessons to all. It proves that while the internet is a terrifying engine of hate and delusion, it's ultimately no match for a man who knows exactly how to control the joke. Please subscribe to my channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Please like and share this video. If you'd like to support this channel, you could become a member of this channel. I would appreciate that. You can also support me by liking, sharing, commenting on, and hyping this video, and I do appreciate you watching my videos. And please stay spooky.